It was but a dream. That year when I unraveled bit by bit until all that was left were the ghosts that kept me up at night, reawakening death at my bedside each evening. I thought it was a dream until it became a pattern, a game of tug-of-war. Me looking over my shoulder, wondering when the waves would crash again. The waves grinning, waiting for a hidden rock to trip me flat on my face, taking me deeper until I was drowning in my own tears. I thought it was a dream until it no longer felt like a dream. In the spring of 2019, my junior year of college, I started experiencing symptoms of depression for the first time. No, rewind, that's a lie. It was probably 4 years before then, so 2015, my junior year of high school. No, but that's probably false too. Honestly, I couldn't tell you when. Couldn't tell you when the waves became so overwhelming that I was always looking for caves to hide in. But what I can tell you is that in the spring of 2019, there were enough lifeguards in my life to notice that I was drowning. That and the dam finally broke. There was no possibility to hide the shattered gates to my pain. Spring had never been my season. Each time the flowers began to bloom, I began to wither. So it shouldn't have been a surprise to me when I started having crying spells randomly, but it was. I noticed then the overwhelming emptiness that seized my heart each time I watched the news. I noticed the bottomless hopelessness that left me breathless each time I walked into class, sat with friends, danced to my favorite song. I noticed the threatening anxiety that seemed to collapse the walls around me. And I began to hold more dearly the sadness that hugged me like a close friend. And my identity began to unravel. So what was I to do? I was surrounded by peers who excelled with what seemed like effortless perfection. At first, I tried to fit into this mold by placing my mental health at the back of the classroom. But over time, I realized that my mental health was not something I could just dream away. It was a challenge I could not simply just overcome. It was a challenge that I had to walk through hand in hand with myself, with a community of friends, and with the support of therapy. Over the past 2 years, I have been learning to love myself. It's a reality that is unstable, undefined. Sometimes my depression feels like an old friend. I know when it's about to knock. I recognize her footsteps at the doors of my mind. Sometimes I open the door and I say, "Welcome." I can no longer push its existence out of my mind. You see, in our past, depression would often get pissed because I would ignore it, and she would knock and knock and knock and knock and knock until the doors broke down. So I am learning to receive her along with all of her friends. She usually comes with several of her friends. Fatigue, suicidal ideation, lack of concentration. It's so funny, they actually go by a cute little nickname called Siggy Caps. Dope, right? Yeah, I know. But that's besides the point. My depression makes me feel fragile, like a flower on the verge of losing its petals. And sometimes I wonder if staying in bloom is a possibility for someone like me. But do you give up when love refuses to be tangible? When hope slips through your fingers like sand telling time in an hourglass, hope and time are intertwined realities. In time, I believe I will forget the bruises from learning to love myself. Will hope ever be something as natural as the wind rustling my hair, leaving me breathless, wondering how life can be so beautiful? As I am learning to love and hope again, I've become an advocate for others. I remind others of the strength that it takes to rediscover themselves, even in the caves of depression. And so I pray that you too will learn to find your lifeguards and walk hand in hand with yourself towards a horizon painted with hope and love. May your springs be filled with bloom.